Today I'd like to wrap a few crystals for you with copper, copper being the metal of abundance and love. It's the element of Venus, and you know, I really resonate with Venus because I was born on a Friday. So beyond that aspect though, you can just connect to it however you like. Today we'll start with something simple here. This is a tiger's eye, and it represents protection, and we're going to do a simple wrap with it that you can do on any sort of wrap with simple crystals like these. We'll need 20 gauge and 24 gauge copper wire, and you can get that at most arts and crafts stores, and a set of simple $10 set of wire wrapping utensils. We'll start off with 4 of the 20 gauge wire here, and basically what we'll do is we'll just compare it to our stone here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You don't need an exact measurement, you just kind of do it how you feel, and then the excess can be used as a creative median. So we'll get 4 of these wires here, and then you just measure them out to the same distance. Now that we have our 4 20 gauge wires, we'll just get one piece of small 20 gauge wire, 24 gauge wire to start. And together we'll grab all 4 of the pieces of wire, having them evenly together and parallel. We're going to take this 24 gauge wire, hold it with our thumbs, and wrap one time strong around and then another time around. And see, you'll have that first over crease, and you just take your pliers here, needle nose, and you just crimp it, you see, flat. And then we do one more, and then another one, and then go back and do it again with the pliers. And you can do this about, you know, as many times as you like, depending on how you want to get creative with this part of the wire wrapping. Now that we've wrapped it a few times here, we're going to just take this back wire here, and we're going to cut it so that it flies flat on the other side of this wire, see? And now, just lean it back there. Beautiful. And now with this other wire, we can just pull it with our needle nose and do the same thing to the other side. Fantastic. Now that we have this all together here, the 4 20 gauge and the 1 24 gauge, we have the base of our wire wrapping set. And with this simple wire wrapping method, you can use it on this crystal or any of these simple crystals you can get at most little grab bags. So, without further ado, let's begin wrapping this crystal. And now we will place our crystal right here on top of the back, making sure that the pointy ends are facing the crystal. And we'll take our lowest wire here from the wherever you want to have the bottom of your wire wrap, and we'll just take this one and we'll push it over, keeping this crystal steady by holding it down. And now we'll cross over this other one, the lowest wire here. Now that we're here, we'll do a braiding pattern. So since this one's over top here, we're going to take the right one over here and cross it over the left one. And now we'll take the left one, or the right one over the left one. We're going to take it under here so it goes over the first one and then under the second one. A nice crisscross pattern there. And now we'll do it with this third one. So I'll have 3 layers. And this third one will go under it first, and then over the second. And same with this other side. Under the first, and over the second, and under the third. Now that we're here at this point, we've got our basic pattern, and if you decided to switch out your crystals for any other crystals, you can see how this pattern also fits those. And that's actually a pretty cool one, the picture jasper here. But we'll continue with the one we started with. We'll flip it over, and we'll start with taking the bottom wire here, pulling it over, and then the other bottom wire, pulling it over, and then the other one over. Same with the other 4 or 3, 2, 1. We will take our needle nose pliers here, and we will bend all of these directed this way. So first off, we'll take this one here and bend it that way, and then take this next one up, this next one, and wonderful, they're all facing the same way, so you can grab this. And see, now with this wire, this will hold it all together here. We're going to just take it, you can bend it with your hands and wrap it like that. Now grabbing the 6 wires we had here earlier, we're just going to take the 2 wires that we just had earlier, and we're going to take one of them and we're going to wrap it around these other 7. So 1, 2, 3. Simple as that, see? Here, now that we have this basic wrap holding all these tight, we'll take this one, bend it this way, and we're going to take all of these actually and just bend them down, holding them all in place. Like a flower blooming in spring. And see, now the crystal, it's in place. And now we come back to our 24 gauge wire here. We're going to get about a 4 arms length distance of 24 gauge copper wire. We have our 24 gauge wire here, about an arm's length distance. We straighten it out, and we come back to our piece. And we're going to take the 2 longest of our wires and we're going to bend them up. So 1 and 2. And what we're going to do here is we're going to just take this 24 gauge and find a nice little hole to put it through where we can hold it with our finger. And we're going to follow this pattern here, wrapping it around as followed with a 20 gauge beforehand. So 1, 2, 3, should just pop into place, and 4. Now that we're here with our 20 gauge wire and our 24 gauge wire, we're going to start and wrap these 2 wires we pulled up earlier. we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get it like the Sesame Street vampire thing. And we're going to separate these two wires just a little bit to create a beautiful bail. And so, we're going to wrap this first one over. We're going to do 2 wraps and then a third on this one wire. And then you're going to cross over the top of the other wire. You're going to come down with your finger, pushing it deep in there. And then 1, 2, 3 on the other side. And then you do it to the other side again. You cross over the top and then go 1, 2, 3. I just had to say. And now that you can see, we're beginning our bail, and we're going to continue this pattern for a few more times, so maybe like 3 more times, and we'll see where we're at. So 1, 2, 3. This will be sped up. And from this point here, we're going to bend these wires in a little bit so it doesn't get too wide. And we're going to make sure these are pushed down. And we're going to continue on, and we're going to slowly make it so it bends inwardly. And this can be a tricky point here, so make sure to hold your wires in there in place. And the bail can be wider or smaller depending on how you feel. 3, and to the other side. And from this point here, now that we have our interesting looking bail, we bend these 2 wires back, and then we take our pliers and we find the middle point, and we bend the one and then we bend the other so that they're both bent into the middle of the bail. And then we take this wire and we just go 1, wrap around a few times. And that's probably a good amount. We leave just a little bit of this here for some creativity later. And now we will take these wires here, spread them out, give yourself some room, find 2 decently strong wires, so these 2 right here. We'll take all these other ones away for a moment, out of the way so you can see. We're here, we'll bend these 2 open. Make sure it's long enough that a paracord or a chain can fit through this if it's bent down. And basically what we'll do is we'll use our finger, pull it through, and then take it and push it to that side, see? On the other side of the 2 wires you chose, and we'll bring it like that. And now, this is the, what holds it still. We take this 20 gauge wire and we wrap it around our two chosen poles that'll hold it place. So we go like this, having it on the other side. 1, 2, and about 3 times is a good amount. You can use your pliers here if you choose to. I do a lot of my wire working with my hands, but if you're just beginning, you might be more open to using the pliers. So. And now we'll do that same thing with the other wire on the other side, and our chosen wire of choice. On the other side, we go 1, 2, we've wrapped these two and the bail is connected. We have a nice opening here, and we have some extra danglies to do some special things with. So we're going to take this wire that we had here and we're going to move some of these out of the way. We're going to find a nice wire. We're just going to go like this. Same with the little wire, but on a new pole. Is that what they're called? The wire pole. So, a few times here. And now we're going to take our little wire from the beginning of this wire, if I can find it, wherever it went. There it is. And we're going to do that to another one. And the more you do this to these, the more you can get creative designs for what we're about to do here in a moment. So you can do them as long as you like, as far as you can. Just leave a little bit, about this much distance of copper wire left, because we're going to do little circles with our round nose wire tips. And now that we're here, we're going to start doing some trimming. So we're going to make this just a little bit shorter here, just 1. There we go. This one's pretty long. What we're going to do is we're going to make some circles with our round nose tip pliers here. And if you don't have these, you'll just have to, find some other creative way to wrap them. If you want to wrap them through here and do something like that. But what we're going to do is some beautiful little circles. And now we'll tighten these up, these little ones here. And now from here, we get to do the fun part, as if the whole thing wasn't fun to begin. The whole thing is fun, so you're gonna enjoy yourself doing this project. So we're gonna take any of these and we're just gonna go like this. We're gonna get it real close to the edge. We're gonna pinch it and we're gonna kind of just mold the copper around it and then pull it around just the tip until we get to a circle. We're going to do that with all of these wires that are out. So kind of just do them in any way you like. You can do them up, you can do them down, and then you'll get to lay them here in a moment. Now that we have all the circles done, we're going to take our flat pliers here. You can use the needle nose, but the flat one I just find to work better. So we're going to go like this, taking it, pinching it, and then twisting it all the way the rest of the way until you have beautiful, full blossomed circles. Crazy jumbled octopus looking thing, we begin to take and move them into places we find them appealing. So in the front here is a good place so they don't scratch while you're wearing them. and bending them into a certain pattern, almost like a hugging thing, and it looks like it's hugging itself. Folding these over, bringing them in close. You do whatever you want with these, really. I've made clouds with these before at the top. That's a nice little bale right there, you see. A little intricate, very interesting, definitely eye-popping. And now we'll do our last little bit here, which is getting it all to stay set. So what you do here is you take your needle nose and you grab onto a wire and then you just bend it. Look at that. Wow. Bob Ross would be proud. And you could just do this for each wire once. Give it a cool little design there. And then on the back we're going to do these ones as well. And that tightens everything up. And we're pulling that one in a little bit. And you can just do as many cramps as you like in it. And basically, you have a complete wire-wrapped crystal. Just a beautiful piece there. Anybody would accept as a gift or a present, or even if you want to get into the crystal wrapping business. It's all wonderful that way. So here we go. It was wonderful hanging out with you all. I really appreciate you all joining me on my channel today, and I hope to see you again here soon. If you'd like to see more, like and subscribe and leave a comment below, you know. Have a wonderful rest of your day.